Okay, let's do a quick thing on how we pull comparable properties. So I've got a property, it's in Sandy or White City, and it's, I've got the information here on my sheet, how big it is, how many beds and bath it is. So this one's actually 5 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's a Rambler Ranch. It's 1,184 feet on each level, so 2,368 is the square footage. And it's on 0.37 acres. Now, we want to be able to pull comps. To be honest, 0.37 acres is a big lot, but it really doesn't matter because it's not going to affect the value hardly at all. Even if it was 0.15 acres or 0.2 acres, you just don't get a lot of value for having extra lots. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click clear criteria because I want to make sure that, things we're starting over new. An appraiser will go back 180 days. Now, 120, if it's an area, it's telling me I got to have status, so that's okay. So I want sold, because that's what the only comparables are, the sold properties. I'm going to go back 180 days because that's how far back an appraiser will typically go. 120 might be better. Property type is going to be single family. I'm not worried about anything else that's going to be county, Salt Lake County. And, city could be, Sandy or whatever. I guess I could put Sandy in there. You could also put the zip code. Sandy, Utah, I can do that. And, oh, it's not, I don't know what's going on with this one here, but let's see, Sandy is. So, I don't know what's going on there, but we'll just do Sandy like that. So it's 2,368 square feet. I don't care about anything but square footage. So I'm going to do 2,000 feet to, let's say 2,500. About 10% more is pretty good. And then what I like to do is I'll leave it at that because it's got garage or not. That's great. This one actually has garage, but I want to pull it wide to make sure that I've got enough comparables to pull from, because if there's two comparables out there, I'm gonna have to use what I got. So that looks good. So now I'm gonna hit view map. We're gonna keep it bright. So jump to Sandy, that's great. I'm gonna make it big. So this house that I'm comparing is just on Opal Circle, which is somewhere down here. I want to be down, okay, so it's down in White City. And so right here is one of the properties. So it's right here on this property here. So I want to pull like properties. I want to pull it in an area. So natural boundary here, we've got a natural boundary that says Canyon, Dimpledale Canyon. We're going to pull from this side because the house is on this side, and houses sell for different values on the other side of natural boundaries. Also, another natural boundary is 7th East on the west, 13th East on the east. The canyon here, and then over on this side is 9400 South that you can just barely see up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this tool here, point and click polygon tool. And I'm going to come here and do this and bring it up to where I want to pull from. So here, the tighter you can get, the better. But to be honest, I'm just going to pull it up through the middle of this here. Just come back up here and then click on there. So here's the comps that I'm seeing here at the moment. And so then I'm going to take a look here. I'm going to click for, view results. Now my house is a Rambler Ranch that I'm trying to pull comparables for. So, all right, and I'm not sure what's going on here, but let me put this on pause for a second. Okay, so now we've got our list of properties. I'm going to click here and select all, and I'm going to view agent full report because it's got the most information. And I can see, what is it that's going to be the best for me. Then I'm going to unselect everything. So up here, click unselect all. because I want, comparables. All right, so this one here is on Marble Street. All right, 1185 East, a tiny bit further east, 2,000 feet. I'd say that's, could be a comparable. It's 4.2. Garage, it's got a one-car garage. It is a Rambler Ranch, so kind of on the low end of comparables. And I'm going to look up here and see this price per square foot too. I kind of like keep a rough eye on that. Let me come down here and see what else we've got. I've got, this one's 2268, so this one's even closer. It's built in 62, so it's about the same as mine. Mine was built in 59. And so I'm thinking, all right, it's good. It's got a one-car garage. 1218 East, it's up a little further east, but that's probably still a comparable. So I'm going to click that, and it's 141 a foot. One thing you notice is that this is 2,000 square feet. It's 152. This one is 2268, so almost 2,300 square feet. It's 141 a square foot. All right. Now, as the bigger you go with houses, the lower the price per square foot. That's just kind of a rule of thumb, but I'd call that a comp. So what I do is do a rough deal. I'm going to look at the ones that I feel like are comparables and then get rid of anything that I don't think, is. And so again, I think this is probably a comparable. It's a little uglier. It's not, it's a Rambler Ranch, but it doesn't have the street appeal that mine has. You can't see mine, so, but it's up on Munford Circle. So yeah, I'd say that's a comparable. 154, so it's probably got some nicer stuff. Down here you can see that the main floor is bigger than the basement floor, which means it's probably got a better layout. Let's see what else we've got. It's kind of a weird looking one with the Utah roof, is what I call it. 399,000, so $154 a foot seems to be fairly, fairly consistent, So I'm looking through style, Rambler Ranch, 170 a foot. 2028 was a little smaller, so could go up. I'm probably, my house is an older house. Let's see what this one looks like on the inside. So we look and see. Is it just, this one looks like it's not been updated really. It's got laminate countertops, galley kitchen, older cabinets. It's clean. It looks decent, but nothing special, right? And then you can also read down here in the agent remarks and see, whether it says anything about being remodeled or what's been done. It's got a second kitchen and a basement entrance, so that's kind of nice, and probably a good thing to have a mother-in-law. So it's got a mother-in-law, so it's not too bad. So maybe I click that one. I decide, after all, yeah, it's a little bit smaller, but anyway, this one's a lot smaller. 2,000 square feet. Boy, it sold for $349, 173 a foot. And I go back to this one and I think, okay, this one's 2,000 square feet, 170. Yeah, it's close, maybe, but let's see what I can find that might be a little bit bigger, a little better. So this one I like better, 2,450. So mine is 2,368. So this is, less than 100 feet different. That's what I would call an excellent comp. It's got a two-car garage just like mine. So I'll click on that one. Let's see if there's anything else. So then I'm going to go through here. I'm going to click on Show Selected Only. Okay. And so 6, I guess, apparently is what I selected. So I'm going to run through and see, okay, what do I got that may or may not be comparable? Now this one's butt ugly. So my house has got, faces the street. It's nice. It's got, bar tile roof, etc. This one's ugly, from every exterior level. It's dated on its layout on the inside. It's got this wood, countertop, which is, okay for some people, but, the cabinets have been there since it was built in the 50s. So I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to take that one out, and I'll just come back here and hit Show Selected Only. And I'm going to run down and I'm going to look and say, okay, this one's still kind of funny too. It's a little higher east, it's 2268, it's close, But let's look at the layout. Let's look at, see what it looks like from the front. And it is just not um, very attractive, and it looks like it's dated on the inside. Okay, it's dated, it's dated, it's dated. Well, mine is a little bit too, but mine's more attractive, so I'll keep that one. And that one's 141 a foot. I have no idea why, why. Let me look what street. Oh, here's why. So we look and see what things are in common and what things are different. This one is on Seagull Lily. So when you're looking, you can also click on the address. The address will tell you, come on, tell you right where it's at. So Seagull Lily is kind of a main drag, right? And my house is off, the circle down here in Serpentine, so it's off the main drag. So it's not sitting on the main drag, and it's not across from a school, from Eastmont, which means that there's probably a lot of traffic. So coming to look at that, I'm thinking, that's not my best comp. As long as I've got, 4 or 5 other comps, I think I can get rid of that one. Okay. And it's a Rambler Ranch. Now, Rambler Ranches are typically the most expensive homes. They sell for the most. Bungalow cottages also fall in that category, and occasionally you can do a 2-story, that will fall in there as well, and you'll be okay with. But that's what you're looking at. You're trying to get as like for like as you can. If I can't find anything but tri-multis, I'm going to go with the tri-multi and maybe just bump up the price just a little bit, 5% or 10%, just because it's a Rambler, and see what I can get. But anyway, so we took that one off. All right, let me come down here. This one here is, let's see, on Mumford Circle. So let's find out where Mumford Circle is. So we click on Mumford Circle, and we're thinking, okay, it's up, getting closer to the Sandy Amphitheater. It's not on the main drag. It's somewhat similar to the one that we're looking at, over here off of Opal Circle, which is as close to Seagull Lily. Now, this is 9400 South, so obviously, if you can get noise or you hear a lot of noise or something, that will affect value. But I'm thinking, okay, that's probably a decent comparable. 154 a foot, 2234, that's 34 feet smaller than mine. Although mine has, remember again, we're looking for beds. Mine has 5 bedrooms, this one has 3. This has got 2 full baths and 1 half bath. Mine's only got 2 full baths. And so I'm looking through here to see what else there might be that might be different. Mine has a laundry on the main floor, the first floor in the basement. But in any event, doing comps is all about finding like property. Okay, I like to click on the pictures. I'm going to look through and see how it compares to my property. All right, this is dated layout, dated cabinets, but it's been painted. It looks like the carpet's new. The dated cabinets, the bathroom's a little bit dated. So I'm thinking, okay, so if mine's dated and it's similar to that, the basement's finished like that, okay, that's probably, fair comp. We're $154 a foot. So, we go through and we look and we say, all right, this one's the same thing. It's close, 154 a foot. This one has 0 bath, 0 carport, 0.19 acres. Let's see why this one's going for the same. Well, it's clean looking. And it's got a lot, it's got parking. It's been updated. This is updated. It's the wire, piano wire, whatever you call it, a cable railing on the inside. Looks like it's got granite countertops. It's got, newer lighting. It's got new appliances. Okay, so that's going to help mitigate not having the garage a little bit. It looks pretty good, and that's why it's selling, the same price as the one that has a garage, but it's not updated, and so very, very, very comparable there. And then you've got this one again, it's 2,000 feet, and it's selling in the 170 range. Let's see what's special about this. Let's read the remarks. Okay, it's got a second kitchen and a basement entrance, which is good. That means somebody can help make the payments, or Salt Lake changes their ancillary or additional dwelling unit that means that you can actually rent that out and make some money. So maybe it's, worth a little bit more per square foot, $170. Okay, but maybe not, my best comp unless mine has a kitchen downstairs as well. And so it does. And so here's what I'm doing. I'm looking through, I'm trying to figure out what's the most likely to be just like mine. And this one's pretty close. It's a Rambler Ranch, decent, yard, 0.19, so it's not tiny, but it's not big. It's got 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2-car garage, perfect. All right, parking spots. All right, very, very comparable. Let's see where it's located at on Mumford Drive, 1183. So it's in the middle of the neighborhood, so it's good. It's not next to any major, traffic or noise or anything else. So what this tells me is that my house is pretty confident that I can get $154 a foot on it, because that's what, the other ones that are somewhat similar are selling for, that are within 100 square feet or 200 square feet or 300 square feet, that are pretty close. It's 154. This one's, within 100 feet. So I'm going to take that. Now, if I just set 154 times, 2368, I know that 364, 672 is probably going to be close. But I realize that my house has a 3-car detached garage, as well as the 1-car attached. And I think that adds a little bit of value. Also, I realize that the owner has updated the basement, so they finished off the basement here, and it's been 2 years, and so it's only 2 years, so it's got a newer basement. And oh, by the way, it also has its own entrance with a mother-in-law apartment, and there's a second kitchen down there. So I'm thinking that, if this is 170 is high, it's the highest one we looked at was 170 per foot right here, and it's a little bit smaller, and so I probably am not going to 170, but I'm thinking that it's probably good to go to 160, 165. So I do 165 times mine, which is 2368, and I'm at 390. And so I'm thinking, all right, 390 is pretty good. It might push it a little bit, so maybe I'm going to hit 400. I'll list it at 399.9 and see what happens, because most homes sell within a couple percentage of the listing price. Within 5%, I would say is probably the vast majority of it, depending on where you're at. So I'd probably be listing that at $399,000. And let's take a look and see what my house looks like, so you can kind of get a reference here. So it's 10020 South Opal Circle in Sandy. All right, and this is what it looks like. So actually, it's an older picture here. It's a lot older there. This is all pavement now, but it's a nice lawn. It's one of the nicest yards in the area. Let's come over here and take a look and see here. We've got all the neighbors out looking, and you can see it's got a 3-car garage in the back. Okay, and so you can tell a lot. You can also do a map, Google Maps. So if you hit Google Maps, you can say, and it's got a bar tile roof, which means the roof's going to last a long time. So that's kind of a plus. It's not a huge deal, but it's nice. And Maps. So let's do Google Maps, and let's look it up on there. And we're going to do Sandy, Utah again. And I'm going to hit the satellite view. First of all, I'm going to take this and I'm going to say, all right, let's look around. What have I got here? What have I got here? Okay. It's on, it's next to this canyon, but it doesn't have canyon access, but maybe it's got trail access, because this is a trail. And actually, they're putting a new trail through here, so it will have access to that trail, which may or may not have access down in the canyon.
You're actually looking at the wrong home. It's 1026, not 1020.
I know which one I'm at. It's 1020.
Okay.
That's the one we're doing.
Okay.
1020. No. So, um, so 1020 is it. All right. So now I'm thinking, all right, let's take a look from the satellite. So let's look from the top down. And we've got this one right here. Okay, this is 1020. So there's our 3-car garage off to the back. This is the trail they're going to put through, a walking trail, and then the process of putting a bridge across the canyon down there, and from here to here. And so, yeah, so that may or may not be good. It might be a negative. I mean, in some ways, there's a negative because you're going to have more traffic running through a paved trail with a bridge going across the canyon. But on the other hand, access to that might be a plus for a lot of people. In this neighborhood, you're probably not, it's probably 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But that's what we want to do is we want to take a look and see, we want to see what the neighbors look like. Are the neighbors, decent? Is that something that'll work? And so you can drag your little man down here and put him on the street so that we can kind of take a look and see. And I happen to own this house here. And so, we look around the street and see what we got. And we also own this house. Here, it looks like, we're buying that one to remodel it. Picture must be old because all these are gone, thank heavens. But, it looks like it's decent. It's, nothing special, but, a decent neighborhood. And this is paved. And so that's what we're at. That's what we compared at. So I came in at 390 fairly conservatively. I would list it at 399. And I know from talking to the neighbor that they just had an appraisal done on it for 400. And so one of the things that you can do is also, see when the last time they refinanced it was, and that's also useful as well sometimes to see, so my guess would be, and I don't know this for sure, I could look and tell, but my guess for sure is if an appraisal came in at 400, it was just refinance. So that tells me that my pulling the comparables was pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where's how do I get? All right, and that's pretty much it.